Hi, this is Mark Power again, your stuttering specialist at the Power Stuttering Center. And today I'd like to tell you how I overcame my stuttering. Uh, Let me tell you from the beginning, when I was growing up, I stuttered severely in elementary school, junior high. When I got to high school, we found a stuttering specialist. This was a long time ago. And my mother drove me from New York to Connecticut twice a week to see a guy who was recommended as one of the top national stuttering specialists. Well, I did go to him for several years and followed what he wanted me to do. Basically, he thought that stuttering was a psychological problem. So he used psychotherapy on me. And for 2 years, I learned a lot about myself. And actually, I felt better about myself during those 2 years, but I was still stuttering. It really didn't affect that. Then years later, I came out to California to graduate school. And while I was in school, I noticed that there was a clinic up at UCLA run by another specialist named Dr. Joseph Sheehan. And I went up there to Los Angeles and attended his sessions for several months. This was a group session, and it helped me understand my stuttering better. He had the theory of an iceberg, where if you look at an iceberg, most of the iceberg is below water. And he said that the stuttering part was the part that's above the water that you can see, but there's a lot of underlying problems underneath that need to be addressed. Once again, more of a psychological approach. Years after that, in graduate school at Cal State Long Beach in California, I decided to explore their program for stuttering. They had a stuttering clinic every Thursday night, and I registered for that and went to the speech therapy department at Cal State Long Beach. I remember clearly that when I would go into the reception area and I just wanted to ask where the room was, the receptionist was a very nice lady, but I stuttered severely, and that really, really frightened me, trying to just ask for the room of where the clinic was. On a side note, 10 years later, I was running that clinic at Cal State Long Beach and teaching graduate classes. And the receptionist, she did remember me, and things had changed a lot. So let me go back to what happened. I came out from California because I met a professor named Dr. George Shames, who was at the University of Pittsburgh. So he offered me a chance to go through his, what he called the Stutter-Free Speech program. And I did fly out to University of Pittsburgh, and I stayed there for a week. On the way, I drove down from New York, and it was the wee hours of the morning. I remember, and I stopped by in a gas station. The gas station was way up on a hill, and it was dark. There was the only thing that was there in the country. And I pulled my car in, and I needed to get help to put some gas in. So I walked into the office there, and there was just one guy there who was a teenager, I think. And I just tried to say I needed him to help me with the gas. And I said, and I stuttered severely. You know what he did? He didn't know what to do. So he put his hand in his desk and he pulled out a 45 automatic. And I said, I'm a stutterer, I'm a stutterer. And luckily he didn't shoot me. But stuttering sometimes can get you into a little bit of scary situations. So I did make it to the treatment that Monday morning. And let me tell you about the treatment. It was The best treatment at the time, it was called prolonged speech. And that meant for the first couple of days, you talked at a very slow rate, didn't stutter during the slow rate. And then gradually in little steps, you move the rate over a couple of days to a somewhat normal rate. Then you learn to start using that in conversation and eventually try to use it outside. Well, during that 5 days, I did try very hard, and I was able to learn how to control my speech. The problem with this program, though, is because you start out so slowly, you never really learn to speak naturally. You always have kind of an artificial way of speaking because you start out at that slow rate. The modern treatments that are available now start out at a regular rate and don't slow down. And they're a lot more effective that way because you end up sounding a lot more natural. The MPI treatment program is the one that I offer. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that after I complete this. So let me tell you about the differences between the old prolonged speech program that I went through that was effective and the new MPI program. Both programs replace your stuttering with a new way of speaking. That's the way to get rid of stuttering. Like when you sing, you don't stutter, but if you sang everything, it would sound ridiculous. You need to learn a way to speak that's different from your stuttering speaking and make that permanent. So that's what I did in both programs, but it was a lot easier in the MPI program because you didn't need to speak really slowly in the beginning, so you didn't sound unnatural. And also with the MPI, most of the treatment is done at home online on your own time with an app that you download onto your cell phone. The cell phone is connected to a throat microphone that you wear around your neck, which gives you real-time feedback of how your voice is working. And I have other videos that explain this in more detail. And using your speech in the real world after you establish the new technique is easier with the MPI program because when you go out in the real world, you can get back on the app and refresh your skills anytime you want. With the prolonged speech program, there is no app, there is no throat microphone, no feedback. So you have to kind of do it on your own and remember how to produce that new speech, which sometimes can be difficult. Anyway, the stutter-free speech program was the best at the time, and I'm glad I went through it. But now we have a new and more updated effective treatment program. So after I finished my treatment several years ago, I was able to gradually replace my stuttered speech with a new way of speaking, and it became effective so I could actually conduct stuttering workshops in school districts. That's the way I started. Then I became a college lecturer at Cal State Long Beach, and I eventually would be training 300 speech pathologists in a hotel ballroom with microphones and PowerPoint slides. And I really enjoyed that because I didn't stutter at all. And I was able to train people in some of the techniques that I'd learned. So I eventually started a private practice to help individuals who stutter recover like I did. So thanks a lot for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Mark Power here, and if you like this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful videos like this one. Also, be sure to hit the share button and leave us a comment below so that others can benefit from it as well. I'll be recording a lot more helpful videos like this one to help you overcome your stuttering. And if you'd like to be notified, then click on the bell icon below.